All right, it is April 23rd, and I'm out here on my property today. It's a Friday, so Saturday morning, KC will have a babysitter, and we're gonna do some work Saturday morning, but I'm gonna go ahead and prepare the soil bed a little bit out here. You can see where my burn was and then where it wasn't back there. I've got a strip of pretty much goat weeds that took over and usually do whenever we disturb the soil in the summertime around here. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna basically till all those goat weeds under, make a little good soil bed for some good seed to soil contact, and we're gonna plant a strip of plot screening or land screening because I don't really have a plot, so we're just gonna screen a bunch to make deer feel more comfortable back in here this fall. So what I'm gonna do today is I've got an acidic soil base here, so I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna put some lime down. Normally you wanna do that ahead of time quite a ways because it can take months for the soil bed to get down to the correct pH level. And then when it's at that correct pH level, you fertilize and your plants take in that fertilization a lot better. I have not done that ahead of time. I'm just starting to figure all this out, and this is just the best way I understand it as a redneck. So what I'm gonna do is do lime and I'm gonna fertilize today just because I need the fertilization still. I need whatever it'll give me. So I'm gonna go do that today. We got a rain coming in tonight, so that ought to get some of it kind of getting down into the soil. We're gonna till some of it up tomorrow, and I'm gonna probably fertilize my persimmon tree while I'm back there as well. Try to give it some extra production this year. So let's go. This pasture was grazed for a long time, and it's finally getting a breath of fresh air. It's not that I need a ton of fertilization. I've got a bunch of cow patties out here, right? If you look at some of this blackberry briar, I mean, this stuff's growing pretty tall already. And I mean, it hasn't even had a full year out of grazing production. So it just shows you what you can do if you just don't destroy the landscape with a bunch of cows, you know, more than you can put on acreage. I mean, if you gotta feed them hay, you probably got too many cows on it, I think, but look. Pretty good stuff. Browse on the end of that. Browse on the end of that. Could be hogs, but it's browse. Interesting. So as you saw yesterday, I started the process of what we're going to be doing today. This morning, KC brought this tractor out. We have a friend, mutual friend, that's let us borrow it, and we're very appreciative of that. So what we're going to do is till some stuff up and try to get us a screening going on some parts of this property that don't have that visual barrier for some of the activities that go around this property, as far as ranching, side-by-side, four-wheeling, other recreational activities.
Yeah. So if you're watching this and you happen to be the vice president of Kubota, please take note. We don't have any affiliation, but what a great rig. I got a front end loader bucket on here that might do a little back dragging with or whatever, but it also makes a great thing to just haul your stuff around in. But on the back, I've got a cultivator implement, and it's run on a PTO shaft, so that means it goes down there and, you know, really is a glorified version of the tiller that you use in your garden. It's going to allow us to make 5-foot swipes through the middle of Tyler's pasture, and I don't know, what's it going to be, like probably 200-yard runs each time?
Yeah, probably.
So we'll probably go through there. This tractor is a 8-speed tractor, okay? So I'll probably go through there on a mid-range low hole gear and just kind of get it kind of churned up, and then maybe start amping the speed up or down depending on how the dirt reacts to get a good fluffy dirt to be able to use a seeder to put in corn and milo, right? And then, or sorghum, whatever you might know it as. We're going to do some experimenting with different types, but we'll show you that in a little bit. Right now we're going to get started on this tilling. What's nice is we had a big rain last night and it made the dirt good and soft for us, which isn't a problem too much here anyways, but this is going to be virgin soil. This probably hasn't been tilled in generations, I'd imagine. Yeah, it's been cows for a long time, but that does mean it's going to be good and fertile. So this stuff should grow up real well. So that's the extent of the plowing, but now we're going to talk about what we're actually planting out here.
Milo. So this is just like a feed Milo. It was like $11 when I bought it for this bag. 50-pound bag. We're going to try to throw a bunch of that in there, and I think in this soil it should grow to be a pretty good screening, like maybe 5-6 foot maybe.
I imagine so. It's going to depend on the variety. One of the things you run into is feed stores don't have a clue about varieties of sorghum. It's just Milo, okay? And then we got deer corn as well. We're going to plant. All these are going to work, but they're not going to have the same germination rates as actual seed corn. I did get a little bit of this trucker's favorite, which if you know much about corn, you know that this is a pretty good field corn. It's going to grow real tall. So we're probably going to put that in some really particular places that we know that we really need some visual barriers. And we're going to put it all in with this. This is an earthway seeder. Not really the tool for a huge job. It's really made more for gardening, but that's what we got, because we got friends that have this. We don't even have this, but you know, I guess kind of the side lesson is don't be afraid to rely on your friends and kind of ask for help with stuff, because there's a lot of giving people out there. But this thing, if you don't know much about seed drills or seeders, it's got these discs in here of different sizes. Of course, we're not going to leave them all in there. There's just going to be one in there. You attach that in there, you put all your seed right in that thing, and then that front wheel turns and makes one of those seeds come out in whatever the decided distance is for that plate. Drops in there, this all covers it up.
And we decided, since the germination rate may not be super effective with these feed corn and Milos, that we were going to try to up the frequency.
Yeah, normally you plant corn like every a foot or something like that, but we're going to plant it a lot closer, because what we're going for is not, you know, production. We're going for plants. This is a visual thing. We're not trying to eat this corn or make corn to put in bags, right? Another thing we're going to do is we're going to modify this here gallon jug to make the hopper on that seeder a little bit bigger, because that's almost 300 yards we got to cover out there, and that hopper's not going to hold quite that much corn. So I suppose we will get to walking behind the seeder now.
So that kind of wraps that up. We're not really experts at this, but we're trying new things. We're trying to make things work with friends' help and kind of on a budget, really. So hopefully you guys can see what we do, see the results here in a couple of months of what's happening with this property and with KC's, but we're gonna head over there and work on that in just a second.
So be sure and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because you're gonna be able to actually see in a couple months what that little plot does for us, as well as see how many giant big bucks it helps us kill this fall, right? Like da, 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 da. So awesome, guys. Hit the bell if you haven't, you know, all of that stuff. Leave us a comment, tell us what you think, if you've tried this type of cultivation before, or putting corn and milo in the ground, or if there's some other type of seed we need to be using for visual barriers, right? That's what this is called, a visual wildlife barrier. So anyways, thanks. Remember, this is your element.
Live in it.